that black and white can work together as long as we get paid.
My God, man. Do you know what this means? This ghetto's gonna be turned upside down, I tell you, upside down. If you get on his bad side, brother, you're done for. Now, it's only a matter of time before he finds out, and when he does, no matter where he is, get ready, gentlemen, because hell's a-coming, hell's a-coming, hell's a-coming, hell's a-coming, hell's a-coming.
Hey, man, is that Gundamn? Yeah, man. Well, turn it up, man.
Three, two, one.
All right. Welcome back to episode 196 of Gundamn and MAHQ.
Hey.
Here with the. Are we live?
Yeah, we're live, man. Go for it.
Okay.
I messed y'all up. You know what I also screwed up on? I actually the stream heard me say 3, 2, 1. I didn't. Usually I'm muted during the time I'm saying that to the stream. Only you can hear me. I fucked up so bad. God damn it.
That seems appropriate. That we'll be reviewing Invincible Steel Man Daitarn 3 today.
No day.
1, 2, 3.
What a mess. Oh my gosh.
It was actually 3. 3, 2, 1.
Don't think that man would scream his head off when he said Daitarn 3 2. Daitarn 3! Good shit.
Well, yeah, welcome. It's episode 196 of Gundamn and MAHQ. And this one of your hosts, Neo, and joining me always and screwing up the production is the one, the only Soulbro Ryu. Soulbro, say hello.
What's up, everybody? Unless I was coming in a little too strong. Guys, let me know if I'm a little too hot. I'll turn my mic down. Thank you very much for pointing that out, Enron. I appreciate it. And it's good tonight, man. It's good to be here, man. Finally here to review this long-awaited anime, man. It's definitely, I've got some things to say.
Well, I hope so, because if you don't, it's just going to be a lot of me just talking.
I know, right? But go for it, sir.
Yeah, so yep. Well, I guess as you can kind of see in this new year of Gundam, we're going very super robot-ish, especially right now going through the Yoshiyuki Tomino offerings of the super robot variety. All of his pre-Mobile Suit Gundam works. We've done Zambot 3 earlier this year, and now we're on Invincible Man. The show that actually came after Zambot, which is Invincible Steel Man Daitarn 3.
Heck yeah.
But before we get to that, as I go over to the Larry King Memorial News Studio, Soulbro, you got anything as I saunter over?
If any
Neo's listeners news.
I always do forget about this, but use the hashtag Gundam Live 196.
Oh yeah.
If you do want to see your tweet on the stream tonight, that's Gundam Live 196. You'll see it throughout the show on all of the different layouts that you're watching on the stream. And also props to everybody who watches or listens to the audio podcast as well. If you guys didn't know, we stream this on Thursday nights, every other Thursday night. Usually the days are fluid, but usually on Thursday nights, at least twice a month, over on youtube.com/Gundam MAHQ. So if you guys want to check the show out live, just follow us on Twitter to see when we're going to be doing a live episode. And come on out, man, and join the conversation.
Even if you listen to it live, download it on the podcast site. and just keep it running. Even do what people do on Twitch. Open multiple accounts on YouTube and just have them all run on separate windows. Come on. This is we got to game the system for your boys here.
That's right. Get us some clicks and get us those clicks and hits, man. That's fantastic. But yeah,
I see in the chat, Brian Roberts said 2018 is the era of the super robots.
Hell yeah, man.
Yes, and it's that because we've also been let off the oppressive boot of Chris. So always remember that.
Wow.
Chris was the reason no super robots were done. Just joking.
I'm sure.
But I heard Fortune say that once, so thus it must be true.
I guess he did Gal Gadot kicking and screaming.
Yeah, so Chris, you got to do this. So we had to talk him in. You got to do it, man. Come on, it's great. No, not enough realism.
Oh, the good old days of no super robot shows.
Yes, damn you. But all right. Well, yeah. So always do the hashtags for whenever we're doing stuff there. Mm-hmm. All right. So I'm in the Larry King Memorial News Studio. Going to do some Neo's listener submitted news. And if you ever have any news, just always submit it in the Neo's listener submitted news articles thread in the Gundam section of the Mecha Talk forum. Oh man, look at this stuff. I got like a double shot coming straight out me for Yazi 88. Yeah, I'm just gonna do these together, man.
Do it.
And I'm sure all you guys know this. New Gundam Breaker for PS4 and PC launches on June 22nd of this year in the United States, only a day after the Japanese release on the 21st.
A word?
Man. When's stuff just going to be simultaneously at this point? I know there is stuff that is, but it just seems like, why keep anything separate anymore? I'm getting to this point of like, I've even noticing movies now, because it used to be like stuff would release overseas before us or after us. Now some of this stuff is just being done the same time that we're seeing it. I mean, maybe that's the key to world peace.
Yeah, I mean, it's about time. I mean, they got the technology to do it now, whether it be anime.
Technology.
I mean, the world's a whole lot smaller now than it used to be. It doesn't take a Herculean effort to make sure to synchronize an English version with or a worldwide version with the domestic version for the Japanese. So, I mean, I think that's really cool that we're here now, man. And, man, there's a lot of waifus in this game.
And it's a movie or a TV show. These things are produced weeks or months in advance. They have plenty of time to put the subtitles there. But yeah, so I guess the pre-orders are going to include a mission of fighting a giant Super Femina, which earns a rare parts ticket. Ooh. And it also has a dating sim element. So wow. Are you on this, Soul Bro? You got your pre-order in?
I don't have my pre-order in yet, but I will be picking it up for the PS4 and for the PC eventually. I do want it on the PC as well. Man, there are a ton of waifus in this game, boy. I didn't realize.
And Yazi has a link to Gemetsu.com, which has more information on that. And of course, this was I think about 2 weeks ago. I remember seeing this on the old Twitter. The Sentai Filmworks license or Battler Dunbine.
Yes.
Digital and home release. Man.
Your Twitter exploded when that shit got announced, man. Yeah. I was happy to hear that. I was really happy to hear that.
What did Drake Luff say? I will spare the town of Boston in honor of Sir Todd Guinness.
I will spare the town of Boston in honor of Sir Todd Guinness. Still.
And of course, it's got one of the best character names ever, Shot Weapon.
Shot Weapon, dude. This show, if you've never seen or Battler Dunbine, I'm sure this is not going to be very expensive when it comes out, man. If you love mecha anime, please pick this up. Please.
Well, not only that, but think of like how much better Game of Thrones would be if shit was just mechas. And that's more Battler Dunbine. Because I believe that this show... I mean, it's just got it. It's just got it all in there, man. It's got over the top characters, great names.
It does. It's got fucked up characters. It's got
crazy characters, ridiculous ridiculous plot lines,
There's,
fairies.
there's a nice paradigm shift in the middle of the series that you could see coming, but when it unfolds, it's like, man, this is going from bad to worse.
And of course, it lives up to the Kill 'Em All Tomino. Moniker.
Oh my gosh!
It does do that.
If you want to see bloodshed in the series, man, Or Battle Dunbine is one of the places you can definitely go to see an entire cash out before the end of the show.
Well, not only that, but you get to see famous metropolitan areas of the world be blown away. You know, Paris.
I was about to say, I got one word for you, Paris.
I don't mean Paris, Texas either.
Woo! Paris,
So,
you thought Dublin got it bad in Mobile Suit? Oh no!
No.
You thought Perth got it bad in Mobile Suit? Oh no! Yo, Paris, bend over.
Well, Paris at least didn't get it as bad as Sydney. Sydney still got it pretty bad.
Yeah, Sydney.
But
Sydney
it's a 49 episode series, and the Sentai Works describes it as this quote: transported from his home in Tokyo, a seemingly ordinary 18-year-old Shozama finds himself in a new world known as Beistenwell, a country that has been torn apart by Overlord Drake Luff. Refusing to participate in Luff's evil plans, Sho joins the resistance, where he uses incredible aura powers to fight for freedom inside a lavender-colored mecha. Yes, it is lavender, and but then he gets an upgrade, which is great. And of course, this it spawned the 3-episode OVA of Or Battler Dunbine, Tale of Beistenwell, and of course Garzy's Wing. there's some infamous stuff within the world of Or Battler Dunbine, but definitely pick up Or Battler Dunbine, and it looks like it doesn't have a release date on here.
I know. If anything, just stay tuned to Sentai Filmworks website.
Probably. If anybody in the chat has that, if it's been updated, there's no real. Wings of Reen. Wings of Reen's a funny one too.
Yo, shout out to Mecha-san. Mecha-san says, I want to know what happened to Chan Fao at the end. You know what happened to her, man. She ended up changing her name and showing up on a heavy metal L game. And that brings me to an observation I made when watching Daitarn 3. Apparently, I never noticed this before, but Tomino does a lot of projects in pairs. To me, Daitarn 3 and Zambot 3 are a matching set. And Mobile Suit Gundam and a Daon.
We'll give it away.
But yeah, Mobile Suit Gundam and the Daon may be a matching set as well, at least at the time.
Well, freaking Char shows up in a poster.
Exactly.
Armoro shows up as a background character, and even Tomino himself shows up in a background character of a Daon. So. Actually, bro, that may be something for the future. We've been talking about. I've seen a Daon,
which I was going to suggest to you is the next Tomino series we tackle is a Daon. So I'm ready for it, man, because we got to do that in the movies. Yeah.
You really put me over when it'll be like, all right, man, let's do a Daon and let's follow it up with some Victory Gundam.
Ooh, that's a stiff drink, boy.
let's just do the Strike Team arc of Victory Gundam.
That is a tough sit.
where it just becomes Final Destination for all those.
Oh my god. Oh yeah, L Game and Dunbine, also a matching set as well.
Sure.
I don't know what matches up with Zabungo Yazi, but I think he did another series around that time too, but I don't know the name. So maybe there isn't another series around that time, but I do know that Dunbine and L Game are definitely a matching set. So as for any other series, I really don't know. I guess Zeta and Double Zeta are a matching set, which is obvious. But
great observation.
It's crazy, but yeah. But back to you.
Let me guess: is Zeta a sequel to Mobile Suit Gundam?
Who knows?
Because that guy at the beginning sure in hell looks like Char. He says he's Quattro, but that's a Razor. What are you talking about?
That's easily Quattro Veil Razor. Get my face smooth.
Thank you, Mr. Shazi88 for your double shot there at the beginning. Felt like it was at Starbucks at happy hour. Get a double shot espresso. But
I'm not going anywhere near Starbucks. back to
Oh,
you.
You don't live in Philadelphia.
Woo!
Next one here comes from Yokozuna Bulldozer, and he's got a great link here, and you got to check it out. I guess there was a special collaborative art for Pacific Rim Uprising that was drawn by Masami Obari, and damn, why can't they just animate that movie?
Wow, that looks great.
It looks freaking awesome,
Oh,
dude.
what?
I mean, I still haven't seen Uprising just because I've been busy, and I think I loved how the Jaegers look, and I mean they and I'm sure they look just as cool in the new film from what I've seen. But goddamn, this is hot right here. I mean, seriously, hey, Netflix, since you buy everything. Buy. Let's do a Pacific Rim anime,
dude. They could easily do a spin-off anime series after.
Yes.
Not to ruin anything on how the movie ends, but it launches the premise in a way you could do a spin-off anime series easily.
I heard it's like, oh, it's an end. But is it?
But is it? Yeah, it is a bit of bullshit. But I actually love the movie quite a bit. Not as much as the original.
I'm still
but
kind of
this
mad though because Stryker died for no reason. I thought that was the end, man. Thought that sealed it.
Hey, they have a very the way the kaiju come back is actually pretty. They live up to the logic of the universe, but we'll save it for the review once we get that going. Oh, actually, I know I'll share it with you after I get off after we get in the episode. I don't want to say anything too much, but a review of that might be coming up real soon, guys. So be on the lookout.
Don't spill the beans.
No doubt.
So thank you, Mr. Yokozuna Bulldozer, for your submission. Oh man, Ryder Kabuto gives us a double shot of robot apocalypse news, and then follows it up with some human resistance news.
Uh-oh.
This is the way I like to see it. I like to see how the world's going to end, yet how the humans are going to fight back.
Wow.
And, the robot apocalypse news here, he's got, it says the U.S. Navy's littoral combat ships. Those are those crazy looking ships that are supposed to they're supposed to go really close to the shore. That's what. Then they're like crazily over budget, but
wow.
They're pretty cool looking. They're like these very angular looking ships. But it looks like the U.S. Navy, the Navy has added the ability to operate surface and underwater sea drones on its littoral combat ships. So yeah, that's all we need. Okay, making unmanned stuff. Let's just add some untested AI. Maybe we'll have Tesla put their autopilot in there, see how that works out. So thank you for that. But he follows it up with some human resistance news. It looks like the Human Driving Association is lobbying to protect humans' right to drive themselves. Thank you. Yes, and this is coming from thedrive.com. And it looks like this. They have the Human Driving Manifesto. With my cold dead hands, you're gonna pry the steering wheel off.
Yo, what a statement!
So it looks like they're going against the self-driving technology. To be quite honest with you, and if you guys have ever watched the Grand Tour, I talk about this in the second season. As much as you hear about the self-driving cars, that technology is so far away that it's not even funny. Because as we're starting to see now, you're starting to see accidents with some of these cars.
Yeah.
The technology is just not there yet. It doesn't mean it won't be, but it's just not there yet. It's this. You still have to, and then of course laws are going to have to adapt, because how do you do this? I mean. So
yeah, and ultimately you can't have these automated cars driving amongst the chaos that is traffic, because you have a bunch of human beings driving, and that's the NIMS factor. It's
you don't even have that. I'll put it to you this way: there's two things that you have to worry about.
All right.
Think of your cell phone. There's still dead spots in certain areas. Doesn't
That's
matter
true.
where you live.
Yeah.
And cybersecurity.
Yeah. If your car can get hacked.
These companies can't protect your credit card number. how are they going to keep your car from being hacked into?
And it's going to have to be connected to GPS and a network in order to be able to get you around. So yeah, I mean, ultimately,
that's nothing. Cars have GPS, but it's going to have to. It's going to. Yeah, it's just. Yeah, and then just the visual recognition technology, because some of them use visual recognition, some use a form of like Doppler radar, from what I understand. LiDAR. They use LiDAR, which is a type of radar. So, but yeah, I kind of like this. I'm actually surprised Jeremy Clarkson's not the head of the Human Driving Association.
I would imagine he would be.
kind of seems like something up his alley there. But thank you, Mr. Ryder Caputo, for scary news and then uplifting news. Yes, humans, you need to fight back. Don't let our robot overlords take over our jobs. And, yeah, I know sometimes commutes are crazy, but, in the most part, driving's pretty fun. So, thank you for that. Oh, the next one here comes from, the evil Australian Moo Laflaga.
Oh.
Yeah, he's got he's got a link here that says Mobile Suit Gundam Extreme Versus 2 has exceptional graphics, location test in Japan in May. So it looks like they've announced the 2 versus 2 arcade game, Mobile Suit Gundam versus Extreme 2. And it looks like they're kind of testing it out. So, yeah.
Yeah, it's definitely raised a lot of eyebrows. Mainly because we're probably not going to get a port of this anytime soon. Mainly because Bandai just released Gundam Versus, kind of a reboot to the series on PS4 for a while. But in Japan, I'm sure it's a big deal. I mean, this is a big arcade draw. A lot of people come out to play these games, and the last couple iterations of Gundam Extreme Versus have not come out of consoles, mainly for the fact that they're helping to keep arcades open. So as much as I would love to play a home version of this game, because it has more suits in it than, say, the Gundam Versus that we got, I'm glad to see that the game's still going on. But they usually get the hottest suits, man, and we gotta wait for leftovers, man. That sucks.
Well, it says here that they had some suits that they were announcing that are going to be for the game. The Gundam Barbados Lupus Rex, the Tri-Burning Gundam, and the freaking Gundam Maxter, man. You can get Jiminy Crockett. Yeah,
Chibody, man, shit. God, America?
I am the champion!
America?
Yeah.
Damn it, man. Oh, man, that hurts.
America.
I've been wanting Chibody to come back for a while now. I'm a little salty, man. That sucks.
I think the last time I saw him was like one of those Battle Assault games. Wasn't he?
Yeah, on one of those? He was in one of the Battle Assault games. I do remember that.
2 or 3?
I think it was 2. I think it's 2.
2.
I think 2 is the one that had the Gundam, the G Gundam characters in it.
Yeah. Because I think the first one had Wing?
Yeah, it had Wing, and it had some of the mobile suit, Universal Sentry.
Yeah, because you'd always fight Gene or Demon.
Yeah, exactly.
So thank you, Mr. Lou LaFlaga, for your submission. Oh, the next one here comes from Yokozuna Bulldozer. It looks like Galaxy Express 999 stage play with Saji the O-Riser riding King Arthur Crossroad playing the role of Tochiro. This is a very interesting description. I'm actually going to open up this article here. So it looks like, the Galaxy 999 stage plays video previews casting costumes. So, okay. It looks like the voice of
Saji Crossroad is that guy? What?
Yeah.
Well, all right.
Looks kind of like
Indigo sexy ass Maytel. Yeah, Sanji Crossroad, man. You know what? I don't know if it's in the news, but hopefully someone will put it there. But the 00 news that dropped recently also is
the sequel.
Yeah, involving a stage play.
Nobody has that in there, so
that's crazy.
You can go ahead so thank you, Mr. Yokozuna Bulldozer, for that submission. Yeah, I saw that. That after 10 years, we're going to be getting a sequel.
I know they confirmed a play, which is supposed to focus on Graham. Apparently, Graham survived this experience with the ELS, and he's the main character of that play. I know very few details about it, but let me look this up real quick.
Oh, wow. So
00.
Is he going to be Is he going to be like starting the Titans to wipe out the ELS? The Ls?
No, because he's part L's. His hair has like the liquid metal
Oh.
thing. So when he exploded inside of the ELS, it had an effect on him. And apparently it didn't kill him. So I don't know if that's canon, and they're gonna go ahead and here we go. Gundam 00 anime gets sequel project. I'll share the link with you. Here we go. But yeah, when it comes down to it, let's check out some of these details here. I'll bring it up on the screen. Right. Yeah, there was a event in Tokyo on Saturday of last week, and they said the 00 anime is getting a new project. Scrolling down. Let's see here.
They didn't. Okay, they didn't mention anything about the media of the sequel. In the stories, War Toward Future, mankind has split into 3 factions over energy. Okay, that's the plot of 00.
Mm-hmm.
That's not really telling us any.
It isn't.
Okay, that link, but that's in Japanese, and I can't read Japanese.
But yeah, the things I saw.
These are all Japanese.
Yeah, I saw screenshots of the way the characters look. They're older, of course, and I know that they showed Graham like front and center, and he looks like he survived his experience with the L's and has that, and it stated that he was going to be the main character of the play. But there's other things that are in the cooker for 00 as well. I don't know if there's a new series coming or not, but they do say that. Maybe the chat will enlighten us a little bit. But I was hoping somebody would submit the news thing. I would have dug up the article myself and brought it up here. But
yeah, I remember seeing the thing, but I didn't remember seeing too many details on it. It was just kind of an announcement. So I guess we'll keep you posted on that. So,
but it's supposed to further the story, so that's pretty cool, man. I've been
00 more like double no.
Oh, ouch.
00 is okay, but the X is still the hot one. That's such a hot suit. It's like the damn sister to the Strike, man. Just that long, look to them. God, they're just such good looking suits. But thank you, Solbro, for that submission. Wow.
Well, damn.
Real time listener submitted article. Not only are you a producer, but you're a listener. So, but thank you everyone for all your submissions. If you ever have any news you'd like to share, you can always put it through the Neos listener submitted news articles thread of the Gundam section of the Mecha Talk forum. But you know what, too? I guess we could step into like 2010. Maybe you could also submit some of these through the Gundam Twitter feed.
Yeah,
that might be a good way too. I mean, welcome in the 2010, Bro.
Yeah,
aren't you glad we're here?
Use the hashtag Neos News.
Yeah,
use the hashtag.
That might be a good way. I just thought of that.
Yeah,
man.
at Gundam at MAHQ and use the hashtag Neos News if there's any major developments. I think that's actually a very smart idea because you monitor the Gundam feed quite a bit.
In real time.
In real time.
Yeah, maybe I'll comment on them.
There you go. That's what's up. Let's see here. But yeah,
anything before we go into tonight's review?
Nothing much, man. I'm pretty excited to talk about our main focus tonight, man. And
okay,
if anything, I'll do just that, man. Tonight's review is of the Invincible Steel Man Daitarn 3. In Japanese, it's Muteki Kojin Daitarn 3. I probably said that awful, or as the singer of the main song says, Daitarn 3.
You didn't say it loud enough.
That guy sounds like his voice is cracking in half when he says that shit. It's the best. I laugh every time I hear that theme song. It's great. But that theme song, Come Here Daitarn 3, is sung by Makoto Fujiwara. The series is directed by Yoshiyuki Tomino, who you guys very much well know as the director of Mobile Suit Gundam and many other series. We did review a couple months ago Zambot 3. And Zambot 3 came right before this series. This series aired in 1978. I'm getting my confirmation here. Yes, from 1978, it aired first on June the 3rd, and the series ended in 1979 on March 31st.
And you know what happened after this?
Yeah, it was a 40 episode run too, so it actually ran pretty long. Not as long, well, longer than Zambot 3, not as long as Mobile Suit Gundam. I don't know if the show was a failure, but being that it did succeed more than Zambot 3, I would imagine it was actually a hit to some demographics, especially the younger demographic, which I think the show ends up catering to a lot more in the second half of the series. But just to sum things up, you have the main character whose name is Banjo Haran. He is a refugee from Mars. He escapes from Mars after an outbreak of cybernetic life forms called the Meganoids take over Mars. Apparently, they were birthed from an experiment that his father did in order to try to create a cybernetic human. And then they ended up taking over and killing his family, and he made an escape. He stole a fortune of gold and established himself on Earth with a experimental robot called the Daitarn 3, which he also stole from Mars in order to get a foothold on Earth and be the first and last line of defense for Earth against an oncoming Meganoid invasion. Throughout the episodes, there are an assortment of commanders and Meganoid fodder soldiers that come after Banjo and his crew of sexy ladies and this kid that I don't know where does he live?
Tapo, I think Tapo is like an orphan or something almost.
I'm guessing, but this kid is just like, don't you have parents? I guess he doesn't, but
I think he's an orphan. No, yeah. That's why he doesn't have parents. He's an orphan.
Is he really? I always thought.
Yeah, he's got a brunette Reika, and then he's got a hot blonde Beauty. Yeah. Two chicks that are always trying to fight for his attention, especially in the beginning of the show.
Yeah, Beauty was rolling.
Tapo's an orphan, man.
Tapo's an orphan. They meet in episode 2, who ends up sticking with them. And, of course, the man has a butler by the name of Garrison. Probably one of the greatest fucking butlers of all time. Thank God.
Yeah, he's up there with Alfred.
He is up there with Alfred. Oh, fun fact, by the way. He's voiced by a gentleman by the name of Koichi Kitamura, who is actually the Japanese voice of Alfred in Batman the Animated Series. So he went on to play another famous butler, later on in Batman the Animated Series, probably because he played a very well-known butler in Daitarn 3. So I think that's really cool. The main character is voiced by Hirotaka Suzuoki, who is also the voice of Bright Noah. Banjo is voiced by who would inevitably become the voice of Bright Noah. And with his ragtag crew, he helps to defend Earth from an onslaught invasion of...
They're far from a ragtag crew. Banjo stole a bunch of money and gold from Mars and has like a kill house.
Shacked up, boy.
And they got all types of stuff. So they're hardly just getting by.
Yeah, exactly. They're not scraping, but they make do, man, and they get into these crazy knockdown, drag out battles between the Daitarn itself and all these commanders that could turn into Megaborgs, these giant Robeast type creatures.
Well, they're not. They're not
Robeast. They're just supersized cybernetic titans that take on the Daitarn with an assortment of different powers. And the show is very Monster of the Week. So I would say it's the definition of Monster of the Week. So much so, I would say even more so than Zambot 3. Zambot 3, there were arcs, and although it was Monster of the Week, you could feel that there was some continuity between some of the episodes. This was a different damn story. Every episode is a new scenario you're getting thrown into, and you just hit the ground running with every episode. You will break your neck trying to understand what the fuck is going on.
Well, yes, and I mean before we go into that, we go into we should probably hit on what the Daitarn is. And the Daitarn, basically, it starts off with the MAHQ patrol, which Banjo, he's part of Interpol. And
is he really? I always thought that Reika was part of Interpol.
She was part of Interpol. Yeah. And he's kind of like but he's got it's called the MAHQ patrol, but it looks like basically a police car.
Yeah.
And it'll transform into a plane, and then he calls in the Daitarn, which basically is like in kind of like like almost just like a I want to say maybe like armor mode, and then he kind of goes into it and has a super complicated scene to go from car to to cockpit, and then of course it transforms into the Daitarn. And I think at one point the Daitarns in it, the Die Fighters of the its spaceship form, and then it becomes a tank.
The
Early
Die
on,
Tank, man.
too.
Yo, the predecessor to the gun tank, baby.
Yeah, but you don't see that too much after that. I don't believe. I don't.
There's
I
a
think
few.
you may see
There's a few moments where it
once
comes
or twice.
Yeah,
yeah. It's kind of interesting, and then of course the Daitarn has crazy amount of weapons, and actually has a cock rocket.
Daitarn missile.
Actually has the Daitarn missile that comes pretty much right above where you think.
Now, speaking of the weapons, explain this to me. You have the Daitarn web, which is the cross dart on his chest, and then you have the cross dart, which is a web of electricity. What? It's like they crossed the names. Like they got the names backwards. I don't understand that. But when I'm watching the show, it's like Daitarn web, and he takes off that thing off his chest and throws it, and it's like that's cool. But shouldn't that be called the cross dart?
Well, it's not. So
it's not. It's definitely not.
I get what you're saying, but yeah. And then of course, the craziest weapon, which is the Daitarn fan.
Yes.
Which he puts up basically Japanese fans.
That's a classy ass weapon.
Somehow they deflect everything.
Mm-hmm.
But so, and of course it's a red, white, and yellow. Looks probably one of the most samurai looking.
It really.
Next.
It's super weeaboo, man. It's a crazy blend of West meets East in the aesthetic of this series, and it seems to work. It's Looney Tunes. I would say it's anime meets Hanna-Barbera. I don't know how else to say it.
Yeah, but it's Looney Tunes meets Hanna-Barbera, but it's also got shades of James Bond and Batman. Because before we go into some other things what you like about this, you mentioned Garrison earlier. Garrison is Alfred.
Yeah, he sure is.
He does everything like that. Banjo is a rich guy that lives in a big house that everybody wants to get to know. At the beginning, Reika and Beauty want to get to know this guy because they want to basically try to make him her boyfriend.
Yeah,
and they keep that on for pretty much most of the show. And of course, to fight against the Meganoids, you forgot. You mentioned the commanders, but you forgot that they are their leaders are Don Zuthar and Kronos. Which Don Zuthar is he's like a disembodied brain on top of like a weird looking face with a cape, and then Kronos is just like kind of crazy looking lady that is they're in love with each other. They insinuate that they are.
She's his queen, basically. Yeah.
Yeah, they were something before he became a robot. Because in essence, this technology, it basically converts humans into robots. And what the Meganoids are coming in to attack Earth, they're going to take all of Earth's population and make them into Meganoids. And once you hit a certain, and there's different levels, some of the low-end soldiers look more like robots, where the commanders, they look a little weird. They almost look like Dragon Ball Z characters in some ways.
Kind of, yeah, yeah.
Some of them reminded me of Cell and everything.
Our Tokusatsu villains, they look like that as well.
Yeah. So, like you said, it's Monster of the Week, like pretty much Monster of the Week. There is a different monster every week.
No question.
So I guess we can kind of go into maybe some of the things you like, Silver.
Well, I enjoyed the lightheartedness of the series, especially after watching Zambot 3. This is definitely night and day, and this quite literally, because if you guys remember, the Zambot uses the power of the moon, and the Daitarn 3 uses the power of the sun.
sun.
So
Yeah.
it literally is night and day when it comes to tone. There are some episodes with some brief stakes. I did like when they brought up that Banjo is he's so caught up in his quest to destroy all the Meganoids that he is willing to sacrifice his friends, or at least put on the facade that he's willing to sacrifice his cohorts in that. There were 2 episodes back to back, which actually delved into it, and I thought it was going to be a sticking point leading up to the finale, but it ended up not being, which is probably one of my negatives in the series, because it showed development going on with the characters. But yeah, when they confronted Koros, when they had their first showdown with her in the middle of the series, she had Beauty by her hair and was like slamming her around and saying, "I'll shoot her if you approach me." And he said, "I'm willing to take the risk, because if I can take you out, that's going to end the war." And it's cold, but at the same time, I could see that it is a calculated risk, and it's daring the villain to do something about it, or to gamble on acting. But it also showed Banjo in a certain light, which made him a more interesting character. But they dropped that later on because they kind of just go full out Looney Tunes in the second half of the series, and it kind of loses its hard edge a little bit that they were building up to, save for maybe the occasional episode here and there. But,
I think what you bring up is it's lighthearted even at the beginning. Now, I will warn people, this is a show, a product of its time. So if you're not comfortable with men belittling women in these shows, this is not the show to watch, because they're basically at the beginning, Beauty comes up and they're talking about, was it Beauty or it was Reika? It comes up and she's with Interpol, and she's trying to get in touch with Banjo because they kind of know about what's going on with the Meganoids, and there's a rumor about him knowing that he's the one to help out with that. And he basically says, and it stood out to me, he goes, "Yeah, that's nice you work for Interpol, but you're probably not very good at it, so why don't you work for me?"
The show is mad sexist. I'm not gonna lie.
It's bad everything. Yeah.
It is Sean Connery sexist.
Yeah.
And then it gets Roger Moore silly later on.
So I just wanted to kind of let people know about that before they watch it. But yeah, I will say that Banjo is very focused in the first part of the series with the Meganoids, destroying the Meganoids. And he's at a point where even when we see that some people have been turned into Meganoids and turned into commanders for their own reasons that sometimes are kind of noble reasons, he shows no mercy. And he goes to a point where he is just going through and killing these Meganoids. Because, I mean, we'll put it to you this way. It is basically, some evil plan comes up. They show up in a death battle, which is these giant weird ships that the Meganoids use. They do something where they blow up this, or they're trying to take over that. And he shows up, can't do anything in the MAHQ patrol, brings out the Daitarn. Depending on what they need, the combination sequence goes from full combination sequence to you just see the MAHQ patrol docking with the Daitarn, and the next thing you know, it's fully assembled. So depending on the episode.
Something I forgot to mention.
And then basically he kills him with the power of the sun.
Yeah. Every time.
He shoots him with, I think it's the cross, I forget what attack it is. Oh, the sun attack.
The sun attack, and then the Daitarn crush.
The Daitarn crush, which basically is just a flying leg drop.
It's a dive kick,
Yeah.
But
much.
Something I forgot to mention, one of the big objectives of the Meganoids is to, in order to bring peace in the universe and expand their race in the universe, they plan to come to Earth and turn everybody into cyborgs. Basically, you'll live forever, but you can't have love. You'll never grow. They even want to turn kids into cyborgs, which means they'll never age, and all that stuff. So it's kind of creepy. Like the way the series starts out, it's like, man, this is insidious. I was expecting kind of more of a thing like in in the other series that we've reviewed,
Zambot?
Zambot, where they would put bombs in people, and how that insidious that was. But instead, the cyborgs would be like hidden amongst society, and they'd be having conspiracy against the resistance against them. But it was not that complicated. So,
well, they were created to help have people travel through the stars. And of course, at the beginning of the show, you don't really know, but then you do find out about halfway through that, it's Banjo's father that created these things.
Oh yeah.
And it went out of control. Of course, it's always, you create the machine, you give it the ability to think itself, and the next thing you know, it rebels on you. But I'd have to say, I've noticed this with the Tomino shows prior to Mobile Suit Gundam. They all start off with more of like a kid feel.
Yeah.
But then I don't know if it's maybe the suits aren't on him as much, but halfway through, that's when he starts testing out all these things that eventually you find out he puts together Mobile Suit Gundam. Because there's so much of these plot points and things of, and we see, I mean, I know you said you didn't like the second half of the series. I actually do like the second half.
I don't hate it either. I think it lacks compared to the first half, I would say. But I still found it to be fun.
It's fun in the first half, but I like Banjo more because he's less one-dimensional.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
Because we see that he starts feeling for that. He actually falls for a woman that he finds out is a meganoid. Actually has to kill her. And then there's one point, I think it was the third to last episode, the three scientists, they turn into a Megaborg, but instead of killing them, because these guys were kind of forced into doing what they were trying to do, he makes it, I guess they had a watch that keeps them as a Megaborg. He did it where he shut off the watch and they survived. So yeah, that's basically it. So I mean,
and his rival shows up and they fight, and he spares his life too. Yeah, and you got to, and even earlier in the series when the pair of lovers from when that one girl escapes, Frank and Marie, Maria, when she escapes in order to lure him to Earth, so that way they can both escape from being there, because apparently if you're a meganoid, you can't fall in love and be a couple. So there's one girl who ended up being converted into a meganoid. She escapes from Mars, comes to Earth, and then this Frankenstein-looking guy named Frankie shows up to chase after her, and it turns out that she was in love with him the whole time and confesses her love to him.
And he was in love with her.
And he was in love with her, but he never thought that he was ever worthy of being loved because he considered himself ugly. And it's one of those simple stories that's old as time, but it was nice to see that episode resolved itself without seeing the death of some Megaborgs, and it showed that Banjo could actually, have compassion for Megaborgs, even though or Meganoids, even though they're his sworn enemy. He didn't kill them or anything like that. He let them go on to live their life. And then we see this repeated later on in the series with another star-crossed couple that comes down to chase after the original couple, and they end up realizing that they love each other as well. And that was a pretty funny episode with a lot of homages to ninjas, and that pretty much was a ninja themed episode. So I love me some ninjas.
Yeah, and of course we get the obligable episode where we find out that part of the reason why Banjo is what he is because he came from a screwed up family life.
Yeah.
Even though he seems like he has it all, his father was so obsessed with doing his work that he just kind of neglected them. And there's a point where the Meganoids, because the Meganoids are always trying to do some type of thing to trick him to action. There's actually one part that they actually gain control of the Daitarn. So,
yeah, that's true.
Which was actually pretty interesting because the fact that they went there, gosh, I mean, we've never seen if you want to just put it with Mobile Suit Gundam, nobody ever got, Char never got in the cockpit of the ARC-78.
Nope.
I mean, but there's a point where this happens. But, so they're always trying to concoct different things, and some of them are pretty ingenious. And for Monster of the Week, and it's some shows do it well, some don't. This one does it pretty well because I do like the fact that the commanders are always a little different, and they always have a weird plan, but it's not one of those typical weird super robot plans where it's like, this thing's just gonna not work.
Oh yeah.
Because a couple of them actually almost work, and you're like, wow, okay. But and one of the big ones, when they kind of got into his mind and he's reliving his childhood and needing, well, actually not even his childhood, like a year or two prior before he left Mars, and he's having dinner with his family, and it's like, wow, I actually thought he was gonna give stuff up there, but he didn't. He fought through it. But yeah, it's pretty interesting, and the Daitarn gang, they're kind of goofy. I mean, they are definitely a different type of people, but it is kind of refreshing after a while that we see that the girls stop trying to chase him all the time, and they just become more of a cohesive team. So
yeah, absolutely. Hey, let me ask you a question. What was your favorite? What was your favorite episode?
Anything else on some of the goods, some of the goods?
Yeah.
Going to some of the bads.
Sure. What was your favorite episode? I was just curious.
Hello.
Can you hear me? Hello? I can hear you. Oh no. All right, hang on a second. Let me drop out and drop back in. Testing 1 2. Can you hear me? Uh-oh. He can't hear me. No, I can hear him though. What is going on? I'll close out and go back in. But let's see here. Sorry guys. That's what happens when you go live. Sometimes crazy shit happens. Thank you, Discord. Thank you so much. Let's see here. Stream, you can hear me though, right? All right, Stream. I can see XSplit is picking up my voice, so that's what's up. But all right, I'm getting back in. I'm going back to Neo now. Testing 1 2. Hello.
We're using Discord.
Hey, can you hear me? You can hear me?
Yeah, I know. He's Soul Pro Luck. All right.
Hey, can you hear me? Testing.
Okay. He's back in Discord, and I'm seeing. I don't hear you, Soul Bro.
Oh no. See if I can fix that.
I don't.
Can you hear me now? Damn, I can hear you. Yay.
So.
Oh, all right.
All right. Well, he's trying. You guys hear both of us? I don't hear him. So let me check my audio real quick. Okay.
I'm about to have him go meet me up on Skype. It's funny. I can hear him fine, but he can't hear me at all. I love this. Rap says, sure thing, dude. Good audio on YouTube. Thank you very much. I appreciate it. The Soul Bro Luck. Yeah, thank you, Brian.
Maybe it's on my end.
It could be. I don't know. Oh man. Testing 1 2. 1 2 testing. All right. Well.
Hello. Okay, that's going.
I'll see you on Skype. I'll see you on Skype. Let's go there.
Yeah, let's do that.
Let's go into Skype. I hate to use it, but fuck it. Let's go. Let's do this. Where is I closed it? Okay, cool. Let's close that. The hell? I thought I closed it. Oh, okay, there it is. All right, sign out. There we go. Go into Skype now. Oh, yeah, guys. You get to see this live. All sorts of audio issues. But you know what? That's cool. That's cool. You get to see how the sausage is made, right? There you go. It's educational, guys. All right. It's no different than having a stream and having problems. No, I don't want to update that. No, not right now. I'm using good old American Skype. Not that it's American at all, but it's Skype. All right, let me call him. Let's see what happens. We're going to sound like poop. That's what we're going to sound like. Oh, yeah. All right. Hello, hello. All right, I don't even hear you at all. What is going on? Okay. Speakers, yeah. Uh-huh, sure. Why is it saying I'm muted? All right, hello?
Yeah, no, I can hear you.
All right, cool. It wasn't picking up my mic at first.
I can't hear you over my headset for some reason. Let me...
Yeah, I would go to tools and go to options. And go to audio settings. And check your speakers, see where they're set at.
Yeah, well, that's what I'm doing, and I'm seeing the speakers. Let's see. Okay, the speakers are, but it's the headphone jack is the issue.
Can you select the headphone jack, or can you select the speakers having to do with that? Or right click over on playback, go down to the volume control, right click playback devices, and see which is set to default right now, because it may have changed.
Yeah, I think it did.
Yeah.
Hold on.
Jazzy says, talk about having a one-sided conversation. Oh boy.
Yeah, I don't know what happened here. Like, it just went completely dead for some reason.
Yeah.
Hold on.
Yeah, for me, I could hear you just fine. There was no change in anything. Connection's still strong. I think if you fix it, it'll fix it in Discord as well. It's like it turned off the headphone jack for the most part. Yazzie asks, is Daitarn 3 sponsored by Sunday Delight? But of course, probably back in the day, it might have been. It may have been, man.
Now, can you hear me okay?
I can hear you fine. You don't sound as good as you did, but it could be that we're on Skype. Am I coming through your headphones?
No, you're actually coming through my speakers. That's why I'm.
So if that's the case, when you go over to the sound,
it's doing the microphone. It's picking up the microphone. I can just bring it closer to me if that's better.
Oh, you're fine. There's nothing wrong with that. It's just so you can.
I'm worried about the feedback.
That's what I'm worried about too. So when you go to playback in that tab, playback under the sound options, so it shows speakers and it doesn't show your headphones as its own separate thing.
No, it doesn't. Now it detects the jack going in, but it doesn't go.
Does your headphone do?
It's all right. Let me check this real quick then.
Does your headphones need charging? Are they out of juice?
What the heck is going on? This is crazy.
NSA shenanigans, you'll rob.
No, if this thing just went dead on me or what.
You have another pair of headphones you can plug in just to see the difference? I've had many a headphone die on me throughout my life, so. Let's see here. Well, I can pull up some tweets while I wait for Neo to do this. Let's see here.
Yeah, I gotta switch over to. I'm just gonna go to some smaller headphones real quick. For some reason, it's not working.
No worries, man. I see here that Robert Mallard, shout out to Rob Mallard, the real Rob Mallard at real Rob Mallard on Twitter. He puts up a link to the Gundam 00 box set. Release date is September 4th, 2018. Says it looks good. He's the first to use the hashtag Neo's News, I believe. Let me see here. Is he the first one to use it? Hashtag Neo's News. What? Yo, Rob Mallard, good shit. You're in the building. Let's pull it up real quick. All right. And there it is, man. It's $168.99 plus tax. 10th Anniversary Ultra Edition. You've got all this. It's got a 5-star review. Just one. Gundam 00 is here. I love the look and everything with Gundam 00. I still enjoy the show. It gets a lot of flack because I saw in the chat earlier you guys were saying that the suits were overpowered. I'm used to Gundam series where the Gundams are overpowered though. To me, Seed had the same thing going on with it, and also Wing had the same thing as well. Man, they had overpowered suits. Were they overpowered in 00? Maybe, but to me it felt like it had parity with those other series as well when it came to the strength of those suits. But this looks good, man. I do want to own this on Blu-ray someday. I just don't have 168 to fork out, but I do have time. being that it's coming out, and that price is a lot lower than what the retail price is going to be. So that's actually a pretty good deal. So shout out to Rob Mallett for that. That's what's up. Let me see here, what's going on. Rob Mallett also hits us up with spoilers. Oh, I'm not fucking with that. I'm not fucking with that. This. I get it. Yo. Yo, Rob, please. Good shit. Still having problems, huh?
I think the jack went on this.
Oh wow. Well, we're fine. We can make it work with what we got. So that's perfect, Levon. If we got to do it through the speakers, then we'll do it through the speakers. It's all right. It's not really feeding back all that bad. So I don't hear myself all that bad. So if it doesn't bother you, we can just pick up where we left off. That's perfectly fine. But just to point out to the people who are listening and can't see it, Rob shared a picture of Thanos rearing back his Infinity Gauntlet, and you see old boy from Victory Gundam, flying his plane into what's it, Oliver? Yeah, flying his plane into it's about to be punched by Thanos. That's a work of art, sir. That's a work of art. Thank you so much. That's great.
Soul Bro.
Yes. What's up?
Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you fine.
Yeah, let me. I can hear you now, but you're really low. I don't know why.
Testing 1
Try
2
now.
1 2 testing. Am I still low?
Yeah, I think it's just on my end, but that's fine. We can. It's enough to get through.
Yeah,
We
got this, man. We got this. No worries. So we'll go ahead and we'll pick up where we left off. We were talking about the last of our pros for let's see here. Let me fix this. The last of our pros for Daitarn.
Thank you for being patient, stream.
Yeah, yo, stream, good shit. That's all right, man. These things are gonna happen, and they're pretty game. They've seen worse on other streams that we've done, so this is par for the course. But yeah, I was asking you what you thought, what your favorite episode was on Daitarn 3.
I have to like the episode where he's they trick Banjo, and you see the thing with his family.
Mm-hmm.
And I actually do like the one with the ice skater, because that's the one where you really see him. He really becomes he really puts it all together when it comes to the Meganoids, because you find out that woman, she does it for trying to be the best, and she got caught up, and she's almost a pawn, and he had a hard time doing it, killing her, mainly because of she had merged with her sister. So but yeah, those are probably my favorites right there. And I do like the three scientists. I think it's like the third or fourth one before the end. Yeah, those guys were pretty good too.
Those guys were cool. That one. Hey, and going back to the one with the girl who is the skater, she's definitely torn not only between her love for Banjo, but also the fact that her sister is pretty much, she also loved her sister, and she was torn between the two of them. So it's a classic super robot trope you'll see, where you have the one person who doesn't want to be a villain and wants to live a normal life and actually likes the main protagonist, but is destined to fight them. Nadesco spoofed that shit so well in Gekiganger with Aquamarine. They had a spoof in there about a character named Aquamarine that it was the exact same story, that she was one of the main pilots and her fell in love, and then it turned out she was one of the enemy's planet monsters, and they had to fight her and destroy her at the end. And it's like, this is a tale as old as time. Just look at it here in Daitarn 3. But my favorite episode was and I don't know if you remember this, but remember Jimmy Dane?
Oh yeah, Jimmy Dane.
There's an episode with a great setup. Apparently, there's this space cruiser that's owned by this rich Texan-looking dude, and he has all these Hollywood stars and starlets, about 500 of them, on the maiden flight for this thing, and he invites the Daitarn crew as well on board, because he's got some schemes and plans. And it turns out that one of the stars is an actual Meganoid, or a Mega Borg. and he's a famous looking star named Jimmy Dean. Kind of looks like Robert Redford, anime Robert Redford, but it turns out that it gets revealed real early that he's a meganoid, and both him and Banjo get into it, and they have a gunfight, and the ladies are helping Banjo out, and it just turns out to be a ridiculous affair. There's a montage of moments where they recreate logos from studios throughout the entire fight that's going on. You'll see the Paramount logo, you'll see the MGM logo. It is ridiculous, and you'll see Star Wars get spoofed because this show came out during the time that Star Wars was just hitting theaters or had just hit theaters, so it was a worldwide phenomenon. So they had a couple homages to Star Wars in that episode, and it was just silly that this guy's name was Jimmy Dean because I love that man's sausages.
Yeah, that one was a pretty good one too.
I laughed the entire time. I think that was my favorite episode in the entire run. It's silly as hell. It's in the 20s somewhere. I think it's in the mid-20s. But it's a really good episode, and I recommend that one over all of them. There's another one that came before that had to do with the martial artist. That was it looked a lot like Gordon Liu to me at first.
Yeah.
He was kind of bald, and
it was Wong Law.
Wong Law, yeah, and
that was a good one too.
And they were filming a movie just like in this one. They were filming that episode with Jimmy Dean. The Texan guy wanted to film a movie starring Banjo taking on a Meganoid.
Banjo.
Yeah, and before that, in the episode of Wong Law, he was filming a movie. He was kind of like Lin Kyle in a sense, where he was a martial arts star. It was Lin Kyle so bad, and basically he was challenging the Daitarn to that, and he was an honorable dude. He was one of the first Megaborgs that was just like, look, I'm cool. I'm not trying to set you up. This is what I want. These are the rules I'm setting. And then there had to be some scumbag in the mix that was just kind of ruin a good thing. And it was a good episode. I like that episode, and it's one of the earlier ones. I'd say it's in the late 10s, early teens.
Yeah,
but
it's like episode 10.
Yeah, it's right around there. It's a fun ep.
Well, then you got that. What? Remember the tank dude Hessler?
Yeah.
Kilgore's favorite guy.
Kilgore's
all about
favorite.
Tanks.
The world of tanks, man.
And that tank showed back up later on in the series.
It did. There was 2 episodes, and this is a negative, but there were 2 episodes that were kind of like episodes where you would see where they kind of there are episodes where they had to save on the budget, so they had to use a lot of old animation, and one of them was a battle royale with the 2 girls piloting the Zambot 3. And let me say something about the women in this show. Reika and Beauty are actually very capable women. More so than a lot of women in mecha anime that you saw in the time. These women kick ass. Let me just put that on the table.
They actually do.
They sometimes get belittled because the men have so much such a male chauvinist vibe in that time period that the women are kind of played as vapid. But when it comes down to it, those women got dirty and they were able to kick some ass. And Reika, especially when in the episode where she was mind controlled, she was one hell of an archer. I didn't realize how badass she was. She was making fucking arrow shots like the Green Arrow. I didn't realize
very much
she was that talented. I mean, she's of course a Interpol police officer, but you knew she was capable because she was a great mechanic. She was a decent pilot. She could fight hand to hand. And Beauty also was although she was kind of an adventurer, that she wasn't one to take things laying down, and she was very feisty, so she could throw a punch with the best of them. And I love that episode where they're doing that battle royale, although it was a kind of a recap episode or just an episode that recycled a lot of animation. I like the fact that they got to pilot the Zambot just like our homeboy Garrison got to pilot the Zambot later on in the series. Fucking great episode too. That episode was so good. But there's a lot of stand-up moments in the show, man. I gotta say. And any other ones you could think of before we get into some of the negatives?
Well, I'd have to say I actually do, and I guess we should have did this as a spoiler alert, but the show's like 40 years old, so we're gonna spoil the shit out of it.
The show is 1 year younger than me.
Yeah, so it's but the thing about it is, it's got the craziest, most ambiguous ending, and I actually have to give it to Banjo at the end because he said, I just want all the, of course they hurt Kronos. Don Zuther goes crazy, starts fighting everything, and actually ends up being just this really tough enemy because throughout the whole series, he just kind of sits there and he doesn't even really say anything. He just has this light shine up from him, and only Kronos is able to really kind of translate what he says.
Right.
But you have this big battle. They go through the Daitarn's been stolen. He gets it back. He saved them. He saved Beauty, Reika, and Topo, and he needs to destroy the city on Mars because they end up going to the Mars. And in the end, he just says, "I just want all this to end." Yeah. And then you just see a huge explosion happening because the Daitarn's just blowing up this base on Mars because he sent the gang off planet. And you get this weird thing of like, okay, did he die? And then we end up at his mansion, and everybody's just, and then Beauty and Reika are like, oh, well, too bad neither one of us got him. He's just, whatever. And then like Garrett, and then Top leaves, and then Garrison ends up leaving, and he like turns out the lights.
Yeah.
At the mansion, goes down to the end of the driveway, picks up the city bus, and then we see one of the lights come on at the end, and then it's the end of the show. So
it's in the show, yeah.
It's a really bizarre ending.
It really is. Like I'm watching, I had to watch it twice because I was lacking what, because okay, he wins the battle and he says, "I'm sick of this." Like when he finally got his revenge, he realized how bitter it was, and he realized, how much of a pirate victory was because he killed people who were very passionate about what they wanted to do.
Pyrrhic victory, not a pirate victory.
What's that?
A Pyrrhic victory. Not a pirate.
Oh, my apologies. A Pyrrhic victory, but he realizes that it didn't feel as good, even though he got revenge for his family, and he set out to do what he did. It was a very bitter battle, and he could see that he was embittered by it. And after he defeated him, he said, "I'm sick of this." And then you see the Daitarn floating in space as Mars is shooting away, because the game plan for the final battle was that the Meganoids were going to send Mars crashing into Earth, or at least use Mars as a weapon, basically, to assault Earth for the most part. And they, of course, the Daitarn crew, they stop that from happening and send Mars back to where it belongs. And you see the Daitarn floating in space. It's back to the camera as Mars is going in the opposite direction, and that's the last you see of the Daitarn and, of course, of Banjo. And then everybody's leaving the mansion and going back to their regular lives, and you don't know what happened to Banjo for the most part, except for that ambiguous thing where everybody leaves the mansion, and of course, Garrison locks the door. He puts a padlock on the front door. All the lights are off, and then all of a sudden, when they show the mansion again, it's raining, and the theme song is playing. And then when you see the mansion again up close, there's a light on, as Neo mentioned, in the corner room. And I'm wondering if Banjo's living in that house. He's living in exile for the most part because of maybe he feels guilt for what he did. I don't know, but it's super ambiguous, and it's very out of place for a series that was just ridiculous leading up to this final episode. I didn't realize it was going to end so strong.
and I think we have to realize that the show after this that Tomino does is Mobile Suit Gundam.
Yeah.
And I think as I'm watching this show, it's like a dress rehearsal for what he was trying out a bunch of story arcs, I think in some ways with this, because a lot of what you see in here is things that that shows up in Mobile Suit Gundam, and then just in later on Gundam. So it's an interesting show, but I guess when it comes to that stuff, those are the things I really like about it. But I guess we'll go to some of our dislikes.
I do have one. This is something that I've noticed that Tomino does. The way he tells his stories, it's kind of like the scattershot throughout the course of the series. Mobile Suit Gundam is a bit more traditional, where you see it's a journey log of people being in a war, so that is actually a lot more tighter than you see a normal Tomino story. But the way they told the story in this reminded me actually a little bit of G-Reco, where you're finding things on the go, but the backstory is not the main focus. It's just the stuff that's scattered or seasoned along the storyline, where you find out things about Banjo and what caused the Meganoids to come into existence, and important story elements that are just laid out randomly throughout the episodes as you watch them. You don't know what episodes are actually the ones to watch and what episodes you can just sit back and just not pay half attention to, because you don't know when an actual story element's going to pop up in an episode, and it's like, oh, that's interesting. that's fascinating. I would like to see more about that particular subject. I wanted to see a whole episode that focused on when Banjo lived on Mars and how everything went down and how things went to shit. Kind of like in G Gundam, where you found out
a little bit of it. I mean, you get a little bit of it.
You do. Like, it reminded me of the thing with his father, and his father creating the instrument of destruction. Basically, reminded me of G Gundam with how things went down between.
The Double Gundam.
The Double Gundam, the Devil's Gundam, and the Double Cells. Dr. Kashu and Domon, and how things went down with that. It was a little shades of that. And yeah, guys, this series has a big influence on the Big O. If you guys didn't know this, the Big O has a lot to thank for Daitarn 3, because the setup is almost similar. You have a guy who is the pilot of a Mega Deuce, which I guess I got the name Mega. It is kind of a nod towards Daitarn anyway, but he's got a butler, and he has and he's rich, and and he has two beautiful women on his arms. He's got Dorothy and Angel. So it does borrow quite a bit from Daitarn 3. If you guys ever enjoyed Big O, this is like its grandfather series for the most part. But yeah, the way the story's told, man, I had issues with just how flippant it was with how it told the story sometimes. But ultimately, I got over it because I was just having a fun time watching the ridiculous unfold. But any major negatives that you could that you had in mind?
Yeah, I mean, I guess especially at the beginning, I think the fact that that Banjo, like I said earlier, he was just so set in his ways, and there was no reason, because as the viewers, we're seeing, some of these commanders and stuff, there's a reason why they're doing what they're doing. There's not, sometimes aren't doing this out of choice. And he was just so dead set and kind of just destroying all the Meganoids. And even they called him out a couple of times about it. They're like, oh, you say you like to protect people, but you'll kill us, no problem. Yeah. And they kind of call him out on it. And so I think that I like the negative is, to me, is that he, he's so singular in his mindset with the Meganoids, and I think that it you really see. I mean, you always see this as you always hear the character grew, but you actually do see the character Banjo. Banjo does grow, and they all kind of grow, because they're at the beginning. They're kind of, even. They're a little silly, and like you said, at first they kind of show the women as just like things for him to ogle and stuff like that. But then we see they're actually really good at what they're doing.
Absolutely.
Except for Topo, he's just typical orphan.
Topo got better. He got better. He was able to pilot the Daitarn. Yeah, he was able to pilot it after a while, and he came in handy, man. He was not always just a little piece of shit. He sometimes did work. He could cook.
Pretty much.
He was all right. He grated on my nerves at first, but as he started to become more useful throughout the series, I gave him a pass. But he looks like a little young Amuro Ray, by the way, like Amuro Ray crossed with Dennis the Menace.
And I guess the thing too is, and again, once again, I think it's a product of its time. Is it's like you said, you don't get too much about Banjo's time on Mars, except for a little bit. But then, in a lot of ways, you don't get too much even on really the motivation of the Meganoids and Don Zuther, like where the hell did he come from, you know? And it's just kind of but it's a product of its time. It wasn't supposed to be a deep show and things like that, because but it does have, and I think that's the issue of watching it. And that's years after the time it came.
And I'll take the blame for that, because as for me, when I watch this series, I have to put myself in the shoes of the people who watched the show at the time, and how those type of shows were paced. Like, I haven't really watched a lot of super robot shows from the 70s. I only really have to compare to this Zambot 3. And if I had to say which one was better, I would definitely say Zambot 3 was better, only because maybe it got to the point, and there was a lot of stakes in Zambot 3, and I do like a story with stakes. But for me, this is the dessert after Zambot 3, and I enjoyed it for what it was. Is there a lot of monsters of the week? Sure, but that's the formula, and that's what works, and you didn't mess with what worked. Although Tomino does like to experiment in shows, and he experimented in this show too, and it shows. And you can see some of the building blocks, as you mentioned, for Mobile Suit Gundam in this series. There was several episodes dealing with these ragtag bunches of soldiers trying to take on the Daitarn 3, much like that episode where they set bombs on the Mobile Suit Gundam.
Yeah.
The episode you love to death in Mobile Suit Gundam. I'm kidding. Neil hates that episode. I actually love that episode so much. I don't know why that is, but I love that dumb bomb episode.
Is he gonna? Are they gonna do it in time? Wait a second. You put time bombs on it, but then you put no direct ignition on there. I'm like, what are you guys like? That I actually would rather watch Curzon's Island than that episode.
That's a statement. Holy shit. Yo, print that, guys. Put it on the DVD.
There's nothing more sad than seeing the RX, the Gundam on all fours. Like, oh God.
Flamex asks, here's the ultimate question. Which character is SBR's man? In this show, is there really one, though? I mean, there was a lot of flunkies that
there's nobody that's really... Yeah, that's the problem with this, is there's not a lot of there's all the commanders, they don't really last.
Yeah.
I don't think any of them last more than an episode.
Maybe that one sad cat that ended up getting shot in the very first episode, who was rolling with Reika, her partner. Yeah. I thought he was gonna last. I thought he was gonna be the other dude in the episode in the show, and then he ended up getting murked real quick. I was like, oh damn. He looked like
or maybe it's Banjo's rival, the guy that the other rich guy that was that might be the closest, because he sold out to be a Meganoid.
He did, yeah.
to try to beat Banjo. He still couldn't beat him.
He still couldn't. Oh man. But maybe the guy who was his the number 2, his rival, as Neo brought up. Yeah, maybe that guy was Sobro's man. I'm not sure. Shout out to Meka-san. Meka-san. Yeah, have a good night, sir.
They just don't last in this show. Yeah. They really don't.
It's really hard to answer that question, to be really honest. But yeah, I mean, my problems with this are very few. I mean, the pacing, I would say, is because I'm used to a faster paced show. But again, I have to kind of rein myself as I watch this. It's not slow, but there's a lot of time dedicated to the fights, and then there's a lot of reused animation during the fights, and it's a thing that happened during that time. So it's me living in 2018 watching a show that was made in 1978.
Yeah, come on, about the recycled animation, because how many times did we see the Gundam shoot Gene in Mobile Suit Gundam? I mean, that's a staple of these things. So I did like the fact, though, that you did, towards the end of the show, you got the combination scene was cut less and less. Mm-hmm. They did do that. I gotta kind of give it to them about that. But yeah, it's a product of its time. But it's a pretty good show, though. I like it. I mean, I like it because it has the doom and gloom like you have with Zambot, but it's a little bit lighter hearted thing. It's like, they're trying to take over, yet they're just not. They're not trying to kill everybody Killer the Butcher and and all that was trying to do in Zambot. So, but I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, ultimately, it might be a hard watch for people who are used to today's anime. Maybe more so than anything. Neo and I are lucky enough to have kind of been raised in an era where it was a transitionary period. The 80s, of course, where we transitioned into real robot anime and hybrid series like Gal Gaigar and whatnot for Super Robot. So we have an appreciation for the old and the new, at least the old going back to the 70s. But even with this, it's like, man, I can definitely see a lot of people are going to not want to sit through this entire show, which is a shame, because I think it's definitely worth a watch, and it's pretty cool to see Tomino at a younger time in his life where he was doing the show, and he was trying to find balance in his productions, where he would do a really, really grim series like Zambot 3 and then jump to this, and it's a little bipolar, but it's still interesting to see how these pairings of series actually complement each other. And I do think that this series complements Zambot 3 to a great deal. If you watch Zambot 3, I think you should watch this right afterwards, because I do think they have a lot in common. I also am glad I watched this show, because I just picked up Super Robot Wars V on PlayStation 4, and in the game is Zambot 3 and Daitarn 3 are both in the game. So and they have a team up. They team up in the game, and they have combination attacks, and the characters know each other, which is really dope. Even though they didn't really coexist in the same universe in their original series, it's really neat to see that they know each other in the game and they work together. So it's nice to see Banjo working with those kids, and hopefully these kids have a happier ending in Super Robot Wars V. I'll find out soon. Check out my run back over on Fighters Ready if you guys want to check out my first 5 missions in that game. But anything else you wanted to point out about this show at all?
No. I think it's like we said. I think it's kind of interesting going back into this and seeing the differences that Tomino did, and some of the things that he tried out, and the fact that a lot of the stuff. And I saw in the chat here they're talking about a lot of the weapons, like the Daitarn Javelin and the Gundam Javelin, and then
Oh yeah.
So there's weapons that are going to show up in many in the Gundam series.
Tomino loves himself a good mace, so
yeah, he's way into some medieval weaponry.
He loves them shits, and you'll find it in almost every one of his shows. The fact that he brought that back for Turn A.
Yeah,
makes me laugh so hard. But yeah, you're gonna definitely see a Daitarn hammer is the Gundam hammer, just with more color to it. And you got the javelin. Some of the weapons do carry over into Mobile Suit Gundam. They're less flashy in Mobile Suit Gundam, except for the beam saber. That's
which is hard to believe, because things are kind of flashy in Mobile Suit Gundam. So it's like, the whole thing of the RX-78 with why is it white? Why is it red, white, and blue, and yellow? Daitarn, everything is so colorful.
And speaking of weapons, I did love one of the biggest things I loved about Banjo is that he had that rocket suitcase that would come to him with the murder kit. He had that rifle he would put together, and he have all sorts of guns and shit in there and grenades. Yeah. One of the nastiest kills, by the way, in the show. There's 2 nasty kills in the show that made me flinch. One of them is when he was using when he was in the car, the MAHQ.
MAHQ Patrol.
The MAHQ Patrol, and I guess when it's flying, it's the MAHQ Attacker. He was flying, and he let those MAHQ picks out the back, those spike things that explode, right? One of them went into the cockpit of one of those enemy planes and then hit the dude in the chest, and then that shit exploded with the dude in the cockpit. That was nasty as hell. And then there was a funny death, and it was from Beauty. Remember when Beauty got captured and that one guy hijacked the Daitarn, right? And then Beauty went to the cockpit, and this guy was there, and he said he was going to turn her into a soldier later on after they finished taking out Banjo. Well, this dumbass had his gun on his hip, right? And she sneaks the gun out, And then she so gently puts the gun to that man's temple and fucking pulls the trigger. Kills that guy like gangster as fuck.
She did the Cassilia.
She did, right? And there's some really brutal deaths in this show that just completely get overlooked. Because they're killing cyborgs, but they're still dying. And there's several people who get clapped in the dome so quickly in this show. It's not even. You have to blink and you'll miss it.
Yeah, no, you're right.
I couldn't stop laughing for like 5 minutes when she did that shit. It was like, that is brutal. That shit was so good. But yeah, there's some moments of violence. It's more violent than I would say Mobile Suit Gundam is, to be honest with you, because there are some flagrant shootouts in this show, and
there are. And I mean it, and that's what I'm saying. It's, as you watch it, it becomes two different shows, and we say that a lot about a lot of these shows, but this one really, it's a little bit different because I honestly think, like I said earlier, I think the suits stopped watching after like episode 15 because there's like kind of a switch there, and it gets a little goofier, but like you said, there's like this goofiness, but then there's some straight up just murking happening. I mean, people get straight up killed.
Oh my goodness!
And it's in a really bad way. And you're right. It is kind of a way of maybe a little bit more gratuitous than we've seen in Mobile Suit Gundam.
Yeah.
So,
but I think mainly because Mobile Suit Gundam was trying to be more realistic, so they weren't trying to show it in such a fantastic, crazy way with all the shooting and whatnot. Like, I mean, you got kids shooting guns in the show. It's crazy, but I still enjoyed myself at the end of the day. I will give it a very favorable review at the end of the day, and I'm happy to have seen it because even though Yazi tells me it doesn't really matter all that much if I watch the show when I play up to the missions with these cats in Super Robot Wars, I'm still happy to be familiar with the characters and what the Daitarn can do. And I've seen I you know, throughout
it's
watching
powerful
the show,
as shit. Actually, I mean, if
yes.
you really think about it, I mean, we didn't. I guess we could kind of hit that before we do our ratings and stuff because we didn't go too much in it. But the damn Daitarn is a damn powerful suit.
Holy God, it's super powerful.
I mean, it's well bigger than the Gundam. I mean, the Gundam's about 40 meters. This thing's got to be about 100 meters. This thing is enormous.
And the sun attack is really OP, man.
Yeah.
That shit gets the job done. There's a very few times in the series where he doesn't take someone out with the solar attack, but when he does, it is almost a surefire murder. It's like the people's elbow. The Stone Cold Stunner.
but the thing is like, how can you stop the power of the sun? I think that because a lot of times in these super robots, it's like, oh, it's the ultimate attack. Yeah, it's always going to work. But it's like, wait a second, it's the sun. So yeah, it should work all the time. I mean, if this thing is okay, so as he's saying, it's about 150, 200 meters tall.
Good Lord.
It's enormous.
It's huge.
And like I said, it's a damn powerful suit. Like, I mean, the fact that he's able to, because some of the Mechaborgs, they don't look they look weird.
Yeah.
They don't look silly, but they look weird. And some of them, if you really look at, man, they're pretty badass. Like, a couple of them are actually, it's like, wow, you know, I'm surprised they didn't win. But, but like always, the bad guys always have the most incompetent help. So
absolutely.
But I guess we can now go to ratings, so bro.
All right. Well, again, I did enjoy my watch of the series, even though I had a few detractors. But overall, man, if I was to rate this, I would give it 3 Daitarn come here's out of 5.
Well, I mean, I gotta say, I'm gonna have to give it 3.5 garrisons. Or my butler's better than your butler out of 5s because I mean, if there's he's basically influenced by Alfred, but damn, I think he helped influence Hacker Man. You know, Hacker Man from Wing.
No, yeah, exactly, a Hacker Man. Either that or from that one YouTube short. But yo, yeah, Hackerman from Wing. I forget what Relina's butler. What was his name? Pagan. Yeah, that's right. That's right. That guy.
Hackerman. Yeah,
Hackerman. That's right. I totally forgot about that guy. Oh, yo, shout out to Yazi. He says 1, 2, 3 Daitarn 3s. Yeah.
True, yeah, that's the most obvious.
It's pretty fitting. Yo, shout out to Rob. He says Norman Berg is the greatest. Norman Berg was a dope ass butler. Let's not get it twisted. He was cool. But how many?
Mackenzie.
Yeah.
Mackenzie's yeah, that is true. Yeah, Mackenzie might be the best because he's half man, half white lion. I mean, come on.
Yo, Yazi wrote in the chat for those who are listening. Neo, we all know the best butler of all time is Mackenzie from Danger 5.
And we will be finishing Danger 5 shortly, me and Show.
Nice. Well,
might be the shortest stream we ever did because we're like, damn, what do we do next? We have stuff. Don't worry. It's like after the first time me and Show did it, we said, did we just kind of blow our wad doing this thing? Because we should have like built up to this show.
You went in for the main course right off the bat.
Yeah, we just said, but. Do we have any tweets, Soul Bro?
Yeah, we do actually. Let me go ahead and pull these bad boys up.
Tweets?
We got them. All right.
And always hit us up with on the Gundamn at Mecha or Gundamn at MHQ. I would say Mecha Talk.
Yeah, Gundamn, exactly. Gundamn and MAHQ. If you guys haven't seen it, I'll go ahead and share the link to where all the tweets are for you.
And it's a fun Twitter page. It talks about fun stuff. Because there's too much bad out there.
Yes, there's a lot of bad.
And I actually want to know, is there anybody that was in, well, Soulbro's pulling this stuff up.
Mm-hmm.
I did a tweet this morning because I woke up and I was watching the news to watch the traffic. And did anybody do, they had it in a couple of theaters here out where I live, anybody do the 30-hour Marvel marathon that leads up to Infinity Wars? Anybody do that stuff? Because, man, I don't know how you would do it. I mean, I that's a lot of stamina.
I mean,
do something like that.
You mean watching them one after the next, the whole marathon? Oh my god!
It was like a 30-hour thing they were doing at a couple of the theaters, where they were watching all of these. They were watching all the Marvel movies up to Infinity War.
Yeah.
How the hell can you do that?
18 films too. That's no joke, man. That's crazy. I couldn't do it. I could do like phase 1. I could go through all of phase 1
again.
I could watch them. Individually, and I wanted to watch them leading up to the release of the film, but I've seen them so many times. I know all the events that are going to go on in those, so I don't really need to refresh my memory before seeing Avengers this weekend. But
I hate on Thor: Dark World.
Man,
why you guys hate on that movie, man?
Yeah, you can easily take a nap. Yazi, I'll give it to you. That first act is a little rough.
Yeah, it is rough. I'll give you that. But
then when
it picks up though,
yeah, when Thor and Loki end up teaming up, that's when that movie gets good and it continues to stay good. I'd say Iron Man 2 is definitely the hardest watch for me. I even like Avengers Age of Ultron. I don't think that movie's awful. I think it's got problems, but I find myself enjoying it when I watch it. So, is it my first choice of watching stuff? No. But I'll watch that or Thor: Dark World.
First Avengers before I watch that one.
Yeah, I would too. But no worries. But I'm excited to see Avengers this weekend, man. And if anything, I hope you guys enjoy it as well when you go see it. Let's see here. I do have the first tweet here, and shout out to Alejandro for writing this tweet. He says, "Hello from Ecuador. Are you guys playing Super Robot Tyson X? I actually am behind. Tyson X just recently came out, and I guess the English version comes out very soon, if not already. It just recently got, it's being recently released. So before that is the Asian version, but I got V, which came out last year, and it features Space Battleship Yamato and a bunch of other series. And let me tell you, the Yamato is amazing. That ship is a fucking killer.
I don't wave ride.
Ooh, the wave motion cannon, boy.
Ooh,
the Hadouken cannon, boy. It's nuts. But
you gotta be careful, man. South America, Central and South America, they love them the Super Robot.
Ooh.
And Saint Seiya.
Yes.
I mean,
but I just
those two things that they know down
down in Central and South America, it's Super Robot and
And Saint Seiya, man, you don't fuck with Saint Seiya down there. You will get your throat cut. but yeah, man, I'm playing Super Robot Wars Victory right now. Voyage is, I guess, what the V stands for, and I'm really enjoying it. I got through scenarios 1 through 5. I picked Chiaki as my main character, so I went with waifu. And right now, who I have in my crew, I've got the Yamato, I've got what's his name, the two cats from Crossbone Gundam, Kincaid Now and Tobia, Aronax. I've got those two. And I have just showing up is the cats from Great Mazinger and Get a Robo Armageddon. So those cats just showed up, and I believe I have someone else. I'm trying to remember, but I'm really enjoying the game so far, and I can't wait to see who's going to show up next. I know Nadesco, Prince of Darkness is right around the corner, so I got to see how they fucking recycle the fuck out of that story. But the series has
maybe they make it more enjoyable than the movie.
Dude, the series has a reputation of taking bad mecha anime stories and spinning them into gold. So I think Gundam Wing is in this game too. I could be wrong. Stream, let me know. I forget if Gundam Wing is in V, but I definitely know that Prince of Darkness is, and I'm looking forward to playing Akito in that, and seeing my dear captain once again.
No Gundam Wing.
No Gundam Wing. Okay, cool. Yeah. But Gundam 00's in it. The movie version of 00's in it.
The worst Gundams.
Yeah, the worst Gundam ever made.
I'm actually slowly watching that through Hulu.
Mm-hmm.
I'll watch like an episode, like maybe a week or so. I just been kind of There was like last week I was able to kind of get like 2 or 3 in. I'm in no hurry, but it is nice going back to it. Damn, that's such a good show.
Yeah, I gotta say that I'm excited to see where it is. I'm gonna try to get back into it on Saturday, guys. So if you guys want to watch the previous archive, where I go through scenarios 1 through 5, that's over on twitch.tv/FightersReady. You just go to the video section and you can check that out. Yeah, I played through the first 5 missions, and I'm probably gonna play it again this Saturday. So Saturday night. So I'll go through scenarios 6 through 10 is what my goal is. So it takes a while to get through each map. So, I do dig the game, and I like the mechanics, man. I've always enjoyed Super Robot Wars. I just never had the chance to really dive into them all that much. But now I'm glad to be able to play an actual full-on Super Robot Wars that is in English, and it may not be the best English, but I can navigate through menus and have myself a good old time playing it. So props to everybody who's been telling me to pick up the game for over a year now, and I'm glad to own it. So I appreciate that. But,
any other tweets?
Yes, we do. Alejandro, thank you very much for that tweet. Yazi writes, Daitarn 3, which has been in various Super Robot Wars games, the majority of which has a combination team-up attack with Zambot 3. Sadly, Daitarn 3 is still uses voiceovers from the original voice actor. Bright's original VA has yet to be replaced for Super Robot Wars voiceovers. You know what, though? That's cool. They're still preserving the man, and I guess he doesn't have a lot of dialogue in the game then. I guess he doesn't have a lot of interactions with the characters, so that's unfortunate. I thought they would get a new voice for him, so that way we can have some moments where he's talking to other characters. But shout outs to Yazi for that. Thank you, sir. Shout outs to Enron. He puts up a link to the Aura Battler Dunbine Complete Collection. I'll put the link in the chat for you, Neo. But he has the actual link to it. Thank you. It's selling for $99.98. And yeah, man, it comes out August 28th, 2018. Oh, yeah, I need to pick this up then. Yes, that's not a bad price. You pay $64.99? You go, that is pretty dope. I'm going to have to get on that. So shout outs to Enron for that. I appreciate it, dude. And last but not least, we got Robert Mallard. Oh, shout outs to him. He gave us the 00 box set release date, which is 9/4/18. Anybody else? I don't think. Yeah, that's the 00 box set, and I think we're good on Twitter.
Yeah, I agreed, Yazzie. I hope Dunbine has better subtitles.
Yeah, I hope so. People say that dub is awful, and the dub has some awful moments, but let me tell you something.
It's overacting at its finest.
There is some lines that are fucking said in that dub that are off the chain. I'll never forget, I'll cleave you in twain. I'll never forget that shit. I forget the little girl with the black hair. Her father was gangster as hell, but he was cool. He was a dutiful knight, and he said some really epic shit in the few episodes that he was in. And the guy who dubbed his voice was magnificent. And Drake Luft was great. I gotta say,
Drake Luft was.
Oh, that guy was silky smooth, dude.
I actually like. I like that dub because it's just overacting at it. Because you almost need overacting for Orb Battler Dunbine. It's so ridiculous, that concept.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it's basically what Connecticut Yankee and King Arthur's
King
Court.
Arthur's Court is definitely.
But it's in a whole. I mean, it's just ridiculous. None of it makes sense. I mean, Orb Battler. What the hell is Orb Power? But I mean. So it's just, but yeah, I mean, I hope they keep that dub in there. Are they? Do you know? Or
let's take a look. That's something I need to look at. Let's pull this up. I hope it's in there, but here we go. Extras, Japanese promos. I don't see that it says it's dual language. Okay, yeah, English, Japanese with English subtitles. So language says it's got in there. Will it be the dub from the original one, or are they going to redub it? I doubt they're going to spend the money to redub this series. They're going to just use the one from before. I'm pretty sure. So, yeah, man, you're in for a treat, man. If you watch that shit. Yazzie says, I believe Dunbine is keeping the dub. That's what's up. And
that is a great price though. $65 for 49 episodes
for the entire series on Blu-ray, man. That's a sweet deal, man. That's anime at some of its cheapest. Because if you want to buy the DVDs, it's super expensive, guys. It was pretty expensive back then, but now it's really hard.
So what you gonna do? Are you gonna put those up for sale, or are you gonna keep them?
I actually had to sell them some time ago.
Oh, did you?
I did. Yeah, I had to sell my Dunbines, man. It tore my heart out, but I had to get my car fixed. Back when I had my old car, and I had to sell those. I copied them. Don't get me wrong. I copied every last one of them. So
copied them? What do you mean?
I
know what you mean.
I'm sorry. I archived them. That's all right, because I'm gonna get that Blu-ray when it comes out in August. I'm gonna get that legitimately. But I did own the DVDs at one time, and I can't wait to own the Blu-ray. So thank you for the tweet, guys.
Do I hear Aura Battler Dunbine stream in the future?
Oh my god, I actually started one and never finished it. I did like the first
start a new one. And we're going that if they got that English dub, we're going that
we're doing
English dub.
I'm down. We knock out every episode. I needed a partner to do it with, so now you and I can go through the entire series and just laugh our asses off at the bad anime voice acting directing. But that's it for the tweets, man. I think we're solid.
All right. Well, thank you, everybody. Solbro, do you want to hit them up with all the ways to contact us before we head on out of here?
Yeah, man. Thank you guys for tuning in for this episode of Gundam and MAHQ. You've been watching episode 196, and in this episode, we reviewed Muteki Kojin Daitarn 3, which translates as Invincible Steel Man Daitarn 3. I hope you guys enjoyed the conversation, and thanks for being a part of it today, guys. Thanks for tuning in as well. If you want to listen to the episodes on iTunes, just search for Gundam. You'll find us there. Also go to Gundam.net. Yeah, please download them. It means a lot. Gundam.net is where you can find the episodes. I will be updating it soon with, of course, the audio versions for the episodes we streamed recently, but we're caught up on the last of the episodes with Chris as a regular, so if you guys haven't listened to 192 and 193, go hunt those down. They're up on iTunes right now. Also, make sure to visit Gundam.net. That is where the magic happens. If you guys have never been there before, not Gundam.net, MAHQ.net. Let me fix my face. MAHQ.net is the Mecha Anime headquarters, and you can find a lot of great Mecha Anime reviews up there, as well as line art for mobile suit art and whatnot. And the MechaTalk.net boards is there too. Join the conversation there. We're on Facebook, facebook.com/group/MAHQ1, and follow us on Twitter at MAHQ.net and Gundam at MAHQ as well. And thank you for supporting us. I also want to give a shout out to the cats over on Shin Station Europe, tinyurl.com/Shin Station Europe. They do a commentary stream every week for anime. They're working on Code Geass right now, so join them over on tinyurl.com/Shin Station Europe. And check them out at 4:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on Saturdays, doing commentary on different animes, and currently with Code Geass. Other than that, anything you wanted to add, sir?
Just
keep watch of shows. Twitter. We'll finish up Danger 5, and then we'll do whatever we decide to do after that. That's going to be kind of something. We shoot for around Tuesdays, possibly Thursdays, depending on Gundam and stuff like that. So just be a little open on that one. So, yeah, support that, and hopefully me and Silbro will figure out something to take to stream in the near future here. So after we did Gundam Wing and then 08 that mess team, we'll see what else we can do.
Well, I know we're doing commentary real soon on Galactic Heroes. So, once it hits episode 4.
Been watching that.
Yeah, Neo's finally started to watch it, and I have yet to watch it. So I'll be watching it probably for the first time with Neo when we watch those episodes.
The art doesn't bother me that much.
It doesn't bother you that much?
Some of the characters look a little weird, but Kirky Ice looks kind of weird. But,
oh, does it look real bishy? Is that what he looks?
Yeah, I mean it's all, but. And I wish they still had more of the classical music, but that's okay.
Yeah,
it's not bad. I'm not gonna. I mean, I think it seems to be a pretty faithful adaptation of the original adaptation of the book. An adaptation or a reimagining. I think, what do they call it? A new star or something like that. I forget what it's called. Something new stars or let me see what it is. A new thesis. The new thesis.
A new thesis. Oh wow.
Yeah. Okay. So, but yeah. Check it out.
But we're in there, man. We'll let you guys know when we're going to do the commentary on those first 4 episodes. And thank you very much for tuning into that. Also, I want to give a shout out to Garrison Missile, the greatest missile of all time. If you see
it, better than Budweiser Missile,
but better than Budweiser Missile, the greatest missile of all time is Garrison Missile. When you watch Daitarn 3 and you see it, it's a missile with a mustache. Keep it real. I forgot to mention that during the review. I wish I talked about it. Best weapon ever, Garrison Missile. But anything else you wanted to mention before we get out of here?
No, that's it.
All right, guys. Well, thank you for listening to Gundam and MAHQ episode 196. Stay powerful, and we'll see you guys later, man. Peace.
Okay.
So, it's been a lot of fun, but, well, I guess that's all!
I don't wanna go alone without you. Wish I had someone to come and take me home like you.
これぞトヨタとジオニック社の技術の融合。私を導いてくれ、オーリス。ジオニックトヨタ。
Yo, slick, blow.
It's driving me out of my mind. That's why it's hard for me to find. Can't get it out of my head. Miss her, kiss her, love her.
Move your dead.
That girl is.
I would have waited an eternity for this. It's over, Prime.